All right. Good evening, everybody. It's your boy, Synosis. We are going to be doing a no-cut setup today for the Wild Zone 20 6 Alpha setup. On a couple groups that I'm part of, I've had some people asking about why they can only get 4 to spawn, or only get 5 to spawn, or really struggle getting 6 to spawn. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to explain that to everybody. I'm going to do it, like I said, with no cuts. So I'm going to do it from the original 2 spawns that happened right away to getting 4 to getting 5 and 6. Now I'm going to explain the reasons on why you can only get 5 sometimes, and it's just a finicky distance thing when it comes to getting the last 2 to spawn. I don't know why it doesn't give you an issue with spawn number 3 and 4, but for 5 and 6 it tends to give some issues. So that's what we're going to be going over today. So first things first, what you want to do, fly to Area 20 to this Pokemon Center right here, just to the north of 20. And right off the bat, we are going to heal at this Pokemon Center, because the very last thing we want to do once we get all 6 to spawn is we're going to get them to knock us out. And then we're going to spawn very, very close to the area. Perfect, just like that. Now, because the day-night cycle, if it switches while you're setting this up, will despawn all your Pokemon. So the first thing you want to do after you set to the Pokemon Center, run over to this bench right here, which is the bench we use for resetting this area for shiny hunting, and go ahead and set it to a fresh day cycle. Days are longer than nights, so we want as much time as possible. Now this setup, if it goes flawless, you can have this set up in like 10 minutes or less. Sometimes it can take you 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes, depending on how annoying it is. So get yourself a fresh day cycle, and this is where the setup's going to start. We're going to knock this Roserade out right here. It's just going to be annoying getting in our way. So get rid of that. Perfect. Now, one thing we want to do, because this is where we're going to start right at this bench. One thing you want to do when you're setting this up is we're going to be luring the Pokemon away from their spawn point. Basically, it's called leashing, a lot of people call it. So we want to lure them away from their spawn point and basically trick the game into thinking that nothing is spawning there, so that it'll generate 2 new Pokemon. Now, while doing that, I find it's definitely easiest if you... Oh, sorry. Mike's a little in the way. There we go. I find it's a little easier if you're doing it with physical attackers, because they're going to run up to you, which is what you want, because you want them to follow you. And anything that's going to try and hit you close, aka physical attackers, are going to follow you a little easier. If you get special attackers like Alakazam or Gardevoir that hit you from a distance, they're just a little more annoying. It is doable, but it's a little finicky, and it's annoying. So try and avoid it if possible. So where we have a couple special attackers here, we do not want to work with these. So what we're going to do is we're just going to run away. We're going to despawn them and come back in. This part's optional. I mean, if you want to do it with special attackers and do the annoying part, sure. We just run out here, despawn them, come back in, and do this till you get 2 physical attackers to work with. Still not great, so we're going to do it one more time. Like I said, this part's optional. I just do it because I find it's easier for me and it saves me time in the long run. Come back in after the despawn, hope for some physical attackers. This will work. This will be absolutely fine. We'll work with this. They have some special attacks, but they're not as annoying to work with. So what we want to do is we're going to run in, and we're going to grab aggro from both of them. Get them both to look at you, get them to aggro you, and then instantly run away. And they will then chase you. Just like this. And you just kind of run in a circle, boom, 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 boom. You want to bring them to the point where they want to turn around and run back, which is about here. So now that I've got them there, get them to throw an attack so they stay there for a second. Run outside of the zone. See how Gengar started running back there? Run outside of the zone. Save as fast as possible. What that's going to do is when you turn around, when you reopen your game, where I saved and they were standing when I saved, when I reset, like I'm doing right now, and open the game up, their new spawn point is going to be where they were standing when I saved, which is like a key component to what we're going to be doing here. So open the game back up. We're going to call that step 1. There's 3 steps total, and we have to do that a total of 3 times. So that was step 1 for this first set. Run back in, see how they're spawned there. Now the game's tricked. So now what we want to do is step 2. Grab their aggro again, lure them all the way to this door. And you want to get them right close to the door, just like this. Once they're at the door, run back out, save, and reset again. That's the end of step 2 for phase 1. Open the game back up. And then when we open it back up, you're there, right by the door. So now for step 3 of phase 1, we're going to run. This is where it can get finicky for the 5th and 6th spawn. We're going to run all the way to this light post right here. And we're going to save. This, where we're running far away, this is what's going to trick the game into letting 2 more spawn. Now, if you run farther than 70 meters, now I've already saved, so it doesn't matter. See, if I run back at this light post, they're both still there, which is fantastic. But if you run too far past this light post, let's say to about this sign, now you've despawned the Pokemon. So when you run back, they're not going to be there anymore, as you can see. That's called messing it up. Don't do that. Only run to this light post. Some people run to the Roserade, which works for the 2nd and 3rd, or the 3rd and 4th spawn. But I like using this lamppost or a step past, and that works. Now, they're despawned right now, but because I saved when I was at this light post, when I reset the game, it'll be like I didn't run even farther, which is perfect. So now we're going to reset. They're going to be right by the door still, which is fantastic for us. It's what we want. And that is the end of step 3 for phase 1. Now, like I said, it's the same 3 steps for 3 different phases. So we're going to run back in. Now the game's tricked into thinking nothing was close enough to the center area. So now it's going to spawn 2 more. So all we're going to do from here is we're going to enter. They will aggro you, but now they think this is their spawn point. So they'll eventually run back to the door. We're going to run in, and there'll be 2 more. Just like this. Now, we got Malamar, which is super annoying. But we're going to make it work. I'm going to show you what special attackers can do. So don't run too far into the center, because now that those 2 are like, think the door is their spawn. Why is that not grabbing aggro? This might mess up, just solely because this thing will not aggro me. We're going to reset. I don't know what's happening with that. The unlimited question mark. Let's just pretend that part didn't happen. But it's also really nice that we're doing this in real time, so I can show you like some of the difficulties that can happen and some of the issues that can happen. That is in fact one of them. So we'll spawn back in. We'll be at the light post, which is fantastic. Make sure when you spawn in, don't run forward, because you're going to be facing area 3. And if you just start running in that direction, you're going to despawn the 2 behind you, and you're just going to have to reset your game again. So when you spawn in, just make sure you run backwards. Like turn around, run back towards the door. Now, because we reset, that Malamar and Stonefisk will not be the 2 spawns, so we're just going to do that again. All in all, this is perfect. We got 2 physical attackers. So we're going to grab the aggros. And because they're physical attackers, they're just going to chase us, which is fantastic. Every now and then you will lose the spawn of, or the aggro of one of them. That's okay. You'll just have to play with it, run back in, get their aggro again. We want the champ to come a little closer and hit us. Perfect. That's their distance cap. But see, as they start running away, you want to run outside the door. Just like same as step 1 for phase 1. Get them about to that bench, run outside of the gate, save, like we just did, and reset. So now you'll still have the 2 beside the door, and then you'll have spawn 3 and 4, we'll call them, around that bench area. So then we do step 2 again, like we did in phase 1, is we're going to run back in. We're going to grab these 2 from this spot, grab their aggro, and just pull them over to the door, like so. Dodge attacks as needed, because they are alphas, they do hit hard, they can knock you out. You don't want to get knocked out because it ruins it. We need this Skull Thief right next to the door, come on. Perfect. It's not close enough to the door. Oh, perfect. There we go. It ran up, which is really nice. That happens sometimes. If it doesn't go close enough to the door, save, reset your game, go back in, grab their aggro, and try to pull them closer to the door before you go on to phase 3. But that worked pretty flawlessly there. So now that was the end of step 2 for phase 2. So now there's technically 4 generated spawns for the center area, which is where most people get, and this is where things kind of get a little wonky for some people, and this is the part that the video is mainly for, is trying to get spawn number 5 and 6, because sometimes, now that there's 4 by the door, sometimes when you run back into the center after step 3 that we're about to do, there'll be no Pokemon spawn, or there might be 1, which is why you would get a 5th spawn, and if you're lucky, you get both of them to spawn, and then you got 5 and 6, and we're going to go over that right now. So we open the game back up, and we're going to do step 3 for phase 2. See, now all of them are right beside the store. This is exactly what you want. So, same verse, second as the first. Oh, I said that wrong. Second verse, same as the first. Run to this light post right here. You can take a step past if you want to, and save. And that's the end of step 3 for phase 2. Now that you've saved, close your game, reopen it. Now I'm hoping this messes up and it only gives me like 1 to spawn so I can show you how to fix it. Because from this point, whether you get no Pokemon to spawn for 5 and 6, 2 Pokemon to spawn, or 1 Pokemon to spawn, it's a finicky distance situation. So I use this light post because it's a pretty, well, it's a pretty, I don't know, set in stone way that I find to get it to work. I've been doing this for a long time, obviously 157 Shalfas. I just find this spot specifically works for me a consistent amount of the time. So we now run back. We'll have all 4 of these spawned. And then we're going to run in and we're going to start phase 3. So we're going to do the same thing we did for the first 2 phases. We're going to run in and hopefully there's 2 spawned. Perfect. No Pokemon spawned. So now I can show you how to fix it, because this is the issue a lot of people run into on why they get stuck on only having 4 alphas or 5, because sometimes 1 spawns, sometimes none, or 2 spawns. So if this happens and you get none or you only get 1, reset your game. Don't save, reset. Now we're going to end up back at the light post. This is where it gets finicky and you can mess it up. So what it is the Pokemon that are beside the door, you're not far enough. For some reason this doesn't happen on like spawn 3 and 4 as you noticed, but for 5 and 6, if you don't go far enough out, which at this point for this situation, and it is situational, it wasn't far enough. So we had no spawns. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 1 step, 2 step, 2 very small steps. I'm going to resave, and I'm going to restart my game. Because what's basically happening is it's not registering that you're far enough away to make 2 more Pokemon spawn. And it only does it for spawn 5 and 6 for some reason. So this is why it gets finicky, because if you take too many steps and then save and restart your game, you're going to despawn the Pokemon by the door, which is what we're trying not to do. Luckily, I did not. So hopefully those 2 itty-bitty steps we made are enough to trick the game into spawning 2 more, or 1 more. In which it did. Now, we got a Dragalge. We don't want that. That is a very annoying special attacker that is very hard to lure. So we're just going to reset. And now that we know 1 has spawned, we can work with that. But we don't want that special attacker. He's just going to be annoying. So we're going to reset from here. Run back in. So now we know there's a guaranteed 1 spawn. And we'll run back into the center. And hopefully we got lucky and got a physical attacker to spawn, which would be a lot more convenient. We got Gardevoir. That is the worst than Dragalge. So we're going to reset. This is where like this can be a little time consuming and annoying because if you start getting special attackers here that are hard to lure, it's doable, but it's just very annoying. And I find just resetting for a physical attacker it will save you time in the long run. So now we're going to run back in. And basically, like I said, we're just looking for a physical attacker. So what's going to happen here is now that we've got this single Pokemon to spawn, if we were to end with this one Pokemon, we would have 5 alphas for the center. Okay, look at us. There we go. Grab it. And like I said, don't run too far into the center here because you'll despawn them at the door. Oh. Hurricane user. They're annoying. Special attackers and such. Yep. So grab its aggro. And run fast. Sometimes you can trick it. No, it's going to be annoying, so we're not going to try and deal with that. Reset. Go back. Try and get a physical attacker. That's what I mean by like special attackers is they're annoying to lure because they don't have to chase you to hit you. But if we can get like per se another Machamp to spawn, we're cooking. And as you do this and you get more experience and you do it over and over and over again, you'll figure out on your own which Pokemon you like luring, which ones are a little less annoying. We're going to try with Malamar here just because it's here and we've already done this like 4 times. So grab its aggro and run instantly before it starts attacking. Ah, it is luring, which isn't bad. Now it might stop short and try and hit us with a special attack. Boom, boom, boom. Get it to hit you so it stays in that spot without running back right away. Come out here, save. We should still have our 4 from before. Yes, we do. And close. So unfortunately, because there was only 1 Pokemon in the center, we're going to have to do 4 phases instead of 3. If we would have got the double spawn, we would have to end at 3, which is really more convenient. The 4th phase, it's basically just adding time to the setup. But it's what we do. Perfect. So now step 2 for phase 3. We're going to run back in. We're going to grab that Malamar again, bring it as close to the door as possible. Just avoid attacks because we don't want to die. Malamar is at the door. Run out. Save. That's the end of phase 2. Or, sorry, step 2 for phase 3. So now, we load back in. And we turn around, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to run to the light post. Now that Kangaskhan, I don't know if you noticed, he's not directly beside the door. That can be an issue sometimes. So I'll try it without bringing him closer to the door just to see if it messes up. Hence why we're doing like a real-time video so I can show you the issues and how to solve them. If you run out here, he's not far enough away that if we stop at this light post, it's not going to matter. So we'll save here and reset. But he might be far enough away from the door that it's still not generating the 6th, which means we'll have to step a couple feet away from the light post, like we did for the 5th one. But we also might get lucky. Now we run back in. Did we lose Kangaskhan? We lost Kangaskhan. Yeah, so that is the issue that can pertain to not having them super close to the door. Now we got to lure Kangaskhan again, which will not be a Kangaskhan. He just ran back to the center. But we got a double spawn. So this works. This works for us. So, grab their aggro. Get them to chase you. Oh, special attacker. She's going to do the thing. Oh, Thunderbolt. We need her to chase us. She's just going to keep rocking Thunderbolt at us. It's going to get annoying. Come on. You got to remember we're also... Yeah, she's just going to keep rocking Thunderbolt. So reset. got to remember not to run too far into the center because you'll despawn the ones that are at the door. So run about to where I'm standing. I've got it pretty locked down to a science. Once you get to the center area, take like as far in as you need to grab aggro, but no further. Grab their exclamation point. They will then turn and look at you. Oh, run back in. Two will be spawned. Oh my god, we got your gouge again. Annoying. The monkeys are good. Gouger works sometimes. Oh, he's coming. Good. Because he's a special attacker, he'll stop short and hit you with long range attacks. Alamark's going back there. Okay, so we got them halfway here. We're just going to do this in a little slower process. We're going to come out and we're going to save. That way they're not directly in the center still, so we can work with it. It just takes a little longer. So now the trick is get everybody to this door. Do not die. So start dodging attacks. So we want to grab the Gengar, we want to grab the monkey, we want to grab the dog, we want to dodge every attack coming your direction. It's going to be annoying. We're probably going to lose the aggro on the Grald. We'll have to go back in and grab him again. Everything's going to be attacking you, and they're alphas, so they hit like trucks. It's basically you don't want to die. Come on. Oh goodness. That's red. We lost the aggro on the Grald. Which means we're probably going to die. And that's okay. If you get too close to dying, just reset. Just reset your game. Everything's going to be where it was a moment ago, but now you have full health again. This is the fun part, is just dodging attacks from 6 Pokemon, and you're looking at the 2 in front of you, but the 4 behind you are still hitting you. You're just dodging around at random. And run back in, have everybody's aggro again. The monkey's not so bad though. The Dracolic is good annoying. Special attackers get finicky. Because they don't have to chase you. Just dodge attack after attack. Hopefully the Dracolic will start chasing me, because it's annoying when he doesn't. He's a little closer to the door and the monkey's here, so just to keep where we're standing, we're going to reset. Save, walk out the door, save, reset. Now the monkey's closer, so you don't have to worry about him. And now we're just basically worrying about the Dracolic. And this save method that I'm doing can be used at any point in time just to save where those Pokemon are standing. So you can do it as many times as you want. You can get them a foot closer to the door and save, 10 feet closer to the door and save, get them right to the door, definitely save. Then you can come in with full health and then it's not so much of an annoyance. This Dracolic is super annoying. I don't like working with it. It's a really annoying special attacker. It's really hard to get to the door. Where I'm close to the door now. Oh, he's coming. He's super close to the door now, so just save myself. We'll run out, save, and reset. That way when we go back in, he's only a couple feet away from the door, a little easier to work with. And we'll go back in, grab our girl on the Dracolic, and just pray that he comes just a little bit closer. Dodge things, but because it's a cluster of alphas right behind the door, all within a couple feet radius, they hit very annoyingly. Hydro Pump's gonna suck. Sludge Waves and the Psy Shocks and the Thunderbolt, just everything. Everything's annoying. We need that to go just a little bit closer. Now I got knocked out, so we reset. Oh, and yes, this setup can definitely have some annoyance to it when you are working with special attackers. Hence why I try to avoid it. Close to the door. Hopefully we can avoid the Hydro Pump. Avoid everything. And oh, look, coming in closer. Come on. A little closer, and I think that'll actually work. Now that we've got all 6 of them this close, that was still, I don't think it's close enough. We need him, like, or at least where the Malamar is. Get some health back, see if we can aggro him. He's being an annoyance. This is why we don't work with special attackers. But it's nice that it's happening, so I can actually show you that it's doable with special attackers, but devastatingly annoying. Alright, come on, get up here. Sometimes I want to get closer. There he goes. Oh, I got knocked out as he started moving. That's so annoying. It's because I got tunnel vision. I stopped looking at the attacks coming in and was just looking at your gulch. So you reset. Have his aggro again. Try and pray that he's a little closer. And he did. Now he's right beside the door. Fantastic. Walk out. Save. And reset. So that's the end of step 2 for phase 4. Excuse me. So, now that you can see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all right beside the door, which is exactly what we want. This is exactly how you want to have it set up. So I showed you how to fix having no spawns for 5 and 6 to only having 1. Unfortunately, we despawned the Kangaskhan, but that worked in our favor. And we were able to get the spawn 5 and 6. So now we've got all 6 right by the door, which is what we want. We're going to do step 3 for phase 4. And for this one, since we already have the 6 and we're not trying to generate 2 more spawns, you can just run to this Rose Raid. Between the Rose Raid and the lamppost, right here is fine. But this only works at the very end when all 6 are already up. We go to there, we save, and we reset. We go back in. And then when we run back to the door, all 6 will be there. We've got 1, 2, 3. We got the College, Machamp, Simisear, whichever one it is, Gengar, Malamar, and Scolipede. This is fantastic. And now, since we saved back at that bench, or near the Rose Raid, the game's like, oh, nothing spawned in the center. But since there's only 6 spawns in the center, we can only have 6. So I've tried doing it with 8. Doesn't work. Max is at 6. Now, since all 6 are here, walk in, stand as close to the door as possible, and let them beat you up. Just let them rock you until you get knocked out. And what happens with that? By them knocking you out, all those spawns disappear and start back in the center. They reset back to the center area, which is what we want. And by at the very start of the video, we healed at this Pokemon Center. We're still right here. See how they're not at the door anymore? Because when they knocked me out, they regenerated back to the center. So when you run up, boom, 6 spawns. That's how you do it. And now that you've got 6 spawns, I'll show you how to reset them. I have an 8-bit Do controller, so I have a macro for this. But what you want to do, if you're doing it on your own, if you want to reset all of them, is we use this bench right here between the alphas and the Pokemon Center. And we're just going to go here. And we're going to go day to night. This is why I use a macro for this. I'm like eating supper or studying. I'll just run it because like I hate these day to night cycles. They take so long. And then you want to run in. Make sure you spawn them all. Once you spawn them and you see there's no shinies, you come back. And you reset again. And this is exactly how you check for all 6 shinies. Because some people will reset at this bench and not run in, and they'll be like, oh, well, it's not spawning them all. And it's not generating the shinies. Nope, because there's 6. See how only 3 are spawning? Once it switches the cycle, you gotta run into all 6 to show. Boom. No shinies, that's fine. So then you reset again. Boom, boom. Now, little piece of advice. When you're doing this bench reset right here, you are not only generating these 6 alphas. You are generating this guy to spawn. You are generating that guy to spawn. You are generating anything over here to spawn, so like this Gardevoir or the grass starters. And because you're doing this run-in method, if you run to here, like my macro does, and run back, you are also spawning that Gardevoir, and sometimes, well, that's Dragolage at the moment, and water starters. So, by doing this bench reset method and running into where I showed you to run, you are shiny checking everything I just showed you. Which means not only are you shiny checking for 6 alphas, everything I just showed you also has a chance to be shiny and also has a chance to be an alpha or a shalfa. So just a lot of extra to work with. The annoying part about this is it does not generate the spawns for the fire starters in that far corner, unfortunately. So then we reset, go to nighttime, come in, check your spawns, nothing there. I don't check these every time I reset all these random spawns, because what I do is I will reset till there's like 3 or 4 shinies in the center, or if I like finish eating or I get back from shopping or whatever I'm doing and I check and there's like 2 to 4 shinies, I'll go and I'll catch them, and then just for cleanup I come around and I see what's shiny and I catch them that way. But it wastes too much time checking all these extra spawns I just showed you. But when you finally go to catch your shinies in the center, and you're like, boom, 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 I just caught 3, now I want to reset it, that's when you can just go and be like, oh, there was a shiny here, I may as well catch it, there was a shiny over there, I'll catch it. Don't check them every time. And the last thing I'm going to tell you is, let's say you're finally ready to catch your shalfas in the center, you just bench reset, you come out, you got boom, 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 3 shinies per se. And you go and you catch all 3 of them. Now, because you caught them, they will not respawn in 5 minutes because you had this 6 spawn manipulation. So after you catch those 3, knock everything out. Knock all 6 of them out so that there's nothing in the center. And then you'll have to start from scratch, which is the annoying part. But then you'll have to redo the entire video I just did and reset it up again. So that's why I usually wait till there's like at least 3 or 4, sometimes 5 or 6 shinies, then I'll catch them. That way I'm not setting it up after every time one spawns. Because like, you run in, you got a Kangaskhan, it's shiny, but nothing else is. You run in, you catch the Kangaskhan, you're like, woohoo, I got a shelf of Kangaskhan, yeah. But now you only got 5 to work with. And that is what it is. It's not like that Kangaskhan would have turned into anything else because the shinies stay. But looks cool for a thumbnail. Or a share to your friends when you got like 5 or 6 shinies there. Or shelfas. But all in all, yes, that is exactly how you set up the 6 spawn method. I was able to show you how to correct it if you got the 4 of them and then nothing spawned for 5 and 6. I was able to show you how to fix it if you only got 1 that would be for 5. And then I was able to show you how to fix it to get all 6. It's a little annoying come the end. That's just something that takes a little bit of practice. I'm happy that this gave me difficulty for the video and didn't go flawlessly because then it wouldn't have been educational. But all in all, I hope everybody enjoyed and got a little bit of information from this. If it helped anybody, please like, follow, subscribe, whatever platform you're going to be on. I will link my Twitch, my YouTube, my TikTok, and everything in the description of this video. I'm not a video maker. I just stream for fun sometimes. But if you found the video useful, let me know. I can do other videos for other methods of shiny hunting in the game, and also do no cuts, so you can see exactly how it's done from start to finish. And yeah, I hope everybody has a fantastic evening, weekend coming up. And if, like I said, if you found this video useful, please hit the like and subscribe button. Yeah, it doesn't hurt. Why not? And yes, I hope everybody has a great night. Peace.